Well, hey, everyone, it's Pac-Man or SpongeBob or Curious George Guy here on TexAgs Radio, or TexAgs Rewind, I should say. So the last couple of days have been about harassing employees. Nick, you got the business yesterday.
Yeah.
Today was about me and the yellow shirt that, for some reason, loves to people just feel like they need to tell me.
It's controversial, yeah, but, I mean, it's not going to lie. It's good to see you get a little slack after it was all on me yesterday. So.
Yeah, but I don't think I took it as hard as you did. Yesterday, you were definitely
because
in
I
your
was
feelings.
I was just trying to do my job and I misspoke and I got slammed for it. But I mean,
I'm just trying to do my
wearing
job.
A shirt.
I'm just like
True. I haven't said anything about your shirt today.
but you want to?
No.
No.
I couldn't pull it off.
Well,
I've told you this before about that shirt.
Yeah.
It's like every 2 weeks you wear something that stirs up controversy.
You know why though?
But it's never with me. Just putting that out there.
But I will tell you what. No, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to make fun of Olin always dressing like a pastor with his black undershirt. Like, I'm not going to do that. That would be rude. And I did that on the show earlier. Why would I do that now, right?
Yeah.
He just walked by and did this. That's why I did that. All right, so on the show, it was more than the yellow shirt. All right, we talked a lot about basketball with OB. Obviously, it's basketball. It's a shorter show today because Aggie women's hoops. We broke down the A&M game yesterday against Ole Miss. We also talked about A&M versus Texas for a different reason because Ross Bjork had some comments about if it's a 9-game schedule or an 8-game SEC schedule. We talked to John Harris live from the Combine in Indy, and Logan Lee reacted to that big win against Ole Miss. 14 wins for A&M. That and more right here on the TexAgs Rewind. OB, yes. Big victory.
It was. It was a hard-fought victory. There were times that, like you said, they looked like, okay, they're being in control, and then Ole Miss was hitting three-pointers like crazy, and A&M wasn't, and then there's some turnovers and all these things. You start to get there's some angst.
Yep. And
then, like we have become accustomed, when it looked like maybe things were starting to get dire, A&M makes the plays. Anderson Garcia, steal, dunk.
Yep.
Andre Gordon, 2 big free throws. Wade Taylor, 2 more free throws. And they end up winning by 8 points. And you're thinking, what was everybody worried about?
Yeah, there was reasons because the offense was not very good at the end of that game. They settled for some, I think, interesting shots. I mean, they were settling for threes with 2 seconds left on the shot clock. I didn't like that. All that being said, I have to give props to one of our listeners, Jim in Temple.
Okay.
Now, while I 1,000% agree with what I was thinking yesterday, and I still agree with it, he sent out a text to us yesterday. He goes, Ole Miss, this is yesterday. Ole Miss hit a bunch of threes against LSU, Davis, so we need to pressure them and chase them off the 3 ball and turning defense into offense, now allowing them for second and third chance points. And he went on, but talking about the threes. And my response to that yesterday, thinking the 10 o'clock hour, was more like, let them shoot threes. They're not a good 3-point shooting team. And I still think that. That being said, that dude was hitting some threes.
Well,
Ross Bjork yesterday says that, and I'm reading it from the tweet from TexAgs, by the way. It says SEC football scheduling once Texas and OU has not been finalized yet. It says if the league adopts a 9-game schedule with 3 permanent opponents, A&M would play Texas every year. Mm-hmm. If it's an 8-game slate with 1 permanent rival, A&M would not get Texas.
It would be LSU, I bet.
Yeah. So it's going to be 9, though, right? Like,
I think so. I think it's going to.
It's about the money.
I think it's going to be 9. You're going to get the 3 opponents every year, and I think for A&M it's going to be Texas, LSU, and Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Now, if they ever add Florida State and Clemson, to me, now no one's going to ask me what they should do, but if that ever happens and you have 18 teams, then you should just go to 9 games. 9-team divisions. Mm-hmm. You get to play everybody in your division. 8 games, and then there's 8 games, and you have 4 either non-conference games or 1 transfer game or interconference. Yep. And you get more home games, and that's what everybody really wants, more home games if they can. But they're not going to ask me about that because who would be the 9 in the West?
Yeah, well, I don't expect 8 at all. I don't think that's. I don't remember. I mean, I feel like ever since this became a talking point, it's been nine games.
I think that's the leader in the clubhouse, 9 games. But there are those that I'm sure are pushing for 8 games because you get more non-conference games that can give you more home games. So you get more home gates. You don't sacrifice a home game every year.
Right.
And then you also, if you're one of the lesser teams, those non-conference game enhances your chance to get the bowl eligibility game.
Yep. Let's go to Devon Achane. Where do you see him? What kind of week can this be? We all know how fast he is, but does he have to prove it?
I don't think so. To me, I don't think so. I mean, I've seen enough. I mean, heck, I saw him on track, so I know he can run. I comped him to Reggie Bush when I did my Harris 100, David, and this is why. One of the biggest things I learned about Devin was the last game of 2021 against LSU. He was in the slot 11 times, and they threw it to him. He had 5 receptions. It's one of his highest reception games. Was in 2021 when he had that at LSU. So he lined up in the slot a lot. Of course, he got Spiller, so, sheer getting along the field at the same time, so he played in the slot. So Reggie did that a lot at USC, but then in 2005 for USC, Reggie kind of took over as the lead ball carrier. So he was running between the tackles, and he actually showed, hey, man, I can be an inside runner. I can do these things. But I think ultimately Reggie ended up being a guy at the next level that was not suited to be an every down back. He was the guy that you wanted to move. He was a chess piece. He was kind of Alvin Kamara before Kamara, but he just wasn't quite the receiver Kamara was, or had quite the game Kamara did, because Kamara's a little thicker. I think Achane's a lot like Reggie in that sense. To me, in 2022, what he showed was he has good inside running instinct. He's tough as can be, and he does have the ability to catch the ball in the backfield and be that threat, and that's where I'd like to use him. And so to me, I feel like he would be perfect for the Texans anywhere from, we got picked 33, the second pick of the second round, all the way through 65, 63, middle of the third round. Now, I have him at, I think, 53 or 54 in the Harris 100. So he kind of falls in the middle of that gap. But I think he would be a great complement to what we already have with Dameon Pierce. And because you can play Devin in the slot, you can use him in jet motion, using a push passes and get him to the edge. And once you get to the edge, you forget about it. But quite honestly, David, the Texans are slow. They've been slow on offense. They've been really slow. Even when they had Hop, they still were slow because Hop was not the fastest guy. But when they had Will Fuller, that's when things change. So adding team speed is something the Texans got to be able to do. And so Devin Achane, to me, makes a ton of sense because of what he can do. So to me, I'm not sure that Devin really has to prove anything. I think he just has to go in there and have good, solid interviews. I think we already know how fast he is. So anything less than 4.4, which I don't think is going to happen, or anything above 4.4, I think people will be like, okay, is he injured? We know he's faster than that. So I don't know. I think his speed is already confirmed. I think it will help him just move front and center when he runs, if he runs in the 4.2 range, which some of us expect. If he does that, he'll set it off. And maybe at that point, some team is like, boy, he's faster than we thought. Well, that team's stupid because they should already know he's smart, or that he's fast and smart. To me, I don't want to kind of double up on that. I already know he's smart. So him running 4.29, I'll be like, yeah, we kind of knew that. Now, if he comes in here at 6'2", 235 pounds, it'd be like, yo, what happened? No, that's a little different. I don't expect that to happen. So I kind of think we know what Devin's all about. I think the interviews in the medical process, those two things, kind of the same thing. I think with Antonio, I do think seeing him run a good time is going to help. I think that's going to help him because I think people look at him and think, yeah, I think he's fast. But, man, if he puts something down in the low 4.4s, I think it's really going to amp up his stock for sure.
I love every win. I don't care how it happens. I love it. I didn't love the game overall, but then if you kind of take a step back and you're like, you had a poor shooting performance, you didn't have Dexter Dennis, and you got to do it on the other side, hitting every three-pointer ever taken, like 8 freaking threes, and you come away with your 14th SEC victory, you walk away like, hey, we got it. We got it done, and that's what matters.
I actually loved that game. I loved everything about this game. It challenged A&M in a number of different ways that they hadn't been challenged this year before. So on the road against a team that isn't that. I think they're a good team. They just have a very bad record. It baffles me how poorly their record is because they have parts and pieces on their roster to make them a good team. But they get down 20-8. And then they had this monster run of whatever it was. It was 26-8 scoring run to end the half, and they're up 36-28 or 34-28 at intermission. So they go on a big run and they take a lead, and they're feeling good. They continue that run into the second half, but then Ole Miss comes back and they start making runs, and then A&M stops them, and then A&M pulls away to double digits. Ole Miss comes back and gets it to within 4 or 3 or a 1-possession game or 2-possession game, whatever it is, and then A&M comes back. I felt like this game A&M had to fight because Ole Miss never gave up. And normally in games that A&M has been playing, they've taken a lead and they've kept a lead. Or, outside of the Tennessee game where they go back and forth and it's a close possession. They haven't had those types of games where they've been able to get a double-digit lead, and then the opponent comes back, and then they get the lead back up to double digits again. It's been if the opponent comes back, then it's a shot-for-shot type thing. They haven't really pulled away. They haven't really maintained, and this game was very different in that A&M was able to do that. And, without Dexter Dennis, that's a big part of this team.
All right, friends. I'm going to allow Nick to, with some kind of accent, tell you what to do.
Man, I can only do like a country accent. I can't do anything else.
Do a
So.
super country accent. Super country, though.
All right, y'all. I need you to head and it'll see. It's bad now. You can't put me on the spot like that, David. It's not good when it's not organic. All
right.
What's your best accent? I'm gonna flip it on you. Go.
Do you know what I'm saying? I'm going to say like, comment, and subscribe. Okay? I'm part of the community.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm part of the community. I'm allowed to.
Yeah. Good job.
See ya.